When you hear the term fossil fuels, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably climate change, right? Melting ice caps, rising seas. But what if I told you there's a much more immediate, personal threat? That's what we're digging into today, the direct impact fossil fuels are having on our bodies right here, right now.
Okay, take a look at this number, 1.6 billion. Just let that sit there for a second. It's a massive, almost hard-to-imagine figure. So what on earth does it represent?
That's what it is. That's the number of people living with dangerous levels of air pollution from fossil fuels. We're talking about nearly a fifth of the entire world's population breathing in toxic air. This isn't some far-off problem for future generations. It's a crisis happening today, and this is where our story really kicks off.
So, let's start with the big picture. We really have to reframe this issue. It's not just an environmental problem. It is a full-blown global health warning.
And hey, this isn't some kind of speculation or a future prediction. We're talking about brand new data that has literally put these danger zones on a map. We can now see the exact places across the planet where this reliance on fossil fuels is making people sick. So what is this threat exactly? I mean, we talk about carbon dioxide constantly, right? But the truly dangerous part of all this, the part that's actually attacking our bodies, is something else entirely. It's an invisible threat that we absolutely need to understand.
Okay, this is the crucial difference that so often gets missed. On one hand, you've got CO2, carbon dioxide. We all know the deal with that. It's the gas that wraps the planet in a heat-trapping blanket. But the immediate danger, the thing that wages a direct assault on our bodies, comes from these tiny little things called fine particulates, or PM 2.5.
So just how small are we talking? Well, picture a single strand of your own hair. These particles are about 30 times smaller than that. They're so microscopic that when you breathe them in, they just sail right past your body's natural defenses, go deep into your lungs, and then pass directly into your bloodstream. And from there, they can travel to every single organ in your body.
And the consequences of this invasion, they're devastating. We're talking about direct links to respiratory and heart diseases, strokes, even premature death. And for kids, it's especially scary. This exposure can actually impair the proper development of their brains and bodies.
And don't just take my word for it. The World Health Organization itself, the WHO, has flagged PM 2.5 as one of the single biggest environmental threats to human health on the entire planet. It's responsible for millions of deaths every single year.
Okay, so now we get what the threat is. The next logical question has to be, where is it all coming from? Let's dive in and start mapping these pollution hotspots. There's this incredible coalition of researchers called Climate Trace, and what they've done is pretty amazing. They've used satellite data and AI to pinpoint the biggest individual sources of this pollution, the facilities they call super-emitters. And get this, almost 900 million people live in close proximity to these specific super-emitters. That's nearly 1 billion people living day in and day out in the shadow of the world's biggest polluters. So, what are these facilities we're talking about? Well, think of the heavy hitters, the industrial giants. Massive power plants, sprawling oil refineries, super busy ports, and huge mines. These are the concentrated sources that are just pumping these deadly pollutants into the air. And when you actually look at the global map, really clear patterns start to pop out. In South and Southeast Asia, you have millions of people packed in right next to enormous coal plants. Across parts of Africa, a huge boom in oil and mining is creating brand new danger zones. And yep, even in North America and Europe, aging industrial sites are still pumping out these toxins. Which brings us to a really crucial point. This health burden, it's not being shared equally. Not even close. There is a deep, profound injustice at the very heart of this crisis. The data is crystal clear. These super-emitting facilities are overwhelmingly located near poorer, more marginalized communities. These are so often the communities with the least political power to fight back and say, hey, not in our backyard. It's the textbook definition of environmental injustice. And the results are tragically predictable. The people who live in these pollution hotspots suffer from way higher rates of asthma, heart disease, and some types of cancers. It literally means the zip code you happen to be born into can determine your health and even your life expectancy.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem, the science, and the injustice. It's a lot, so what do? Let's shift gears and talk about the path forward, the path to cleaner air.
First off, we have to see this for what it really is, a triple crisis. The same single action, burning fossil fuels, is doing 3 things at once. It's driving climate change, it's causing direct health damage from air pollution, and it's creating this deep social injustice. The problems are all connected, which means the solutions have to be too.
So the roadmap from the experts is pretty clear. It all starts with hitting the accelerator on the transition to clean energy, while at the same time strengthening air quality laws to protect people right now. It means using new technology to monitor and regulate the super-emitters directly, and crucially, it means supporting the workers and communities that have historically depended on these industries, making sure nobody gets left behind in the shift.
This quote really just brings it all home. Cutting fossil fuel emissions is no longer just some climate imperative for the future. It is a public health necessity for the here and now. Every single ton of emissions we manage to cut isn't just a victory for our climate, it's a victory for our lungs. And that leaves us with this final thought. We've seen the data, the science, the human cost. This whole debate over fossil fuels, it's not some abstract argument about degrees of warming 50 years from now. It is about the air we are all breathing today, and it's about the health of our communities right now. The real question is, what should we do about it?